Hey, what's up guys, Alexis here, and this video was probably, it was going to be made sooner or later, but I just kind of want to share my reasons for, joining Neucopia. I know like a lot of you guys have been following my journey, my story, what is this kid doing? Well, I'm just going to completely just lay it all out and just completely tell you like my background, why I pretty much do what I do. I mean, if you followed me on Power Team Preview that, we do every single Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, depending on where you're living, you've heard my story, but just to kind of go a little more in depth, why am I doing Neucopia? It's simply to change my life, period. All right, I came from a point where after high school, I didn't want to go to college. I always struggled in high school. I always struggled to get like low C's, and school was just not my thing. I didn't know what I wanted as a career. I didn't know what I wanted for a job. I didn't know what I wanted out of my life. So after I graduated high school, I didn't go to college. I basically took 4 years. All I did was work. I was definitely not one of those kids that went out partying, getting plastered every weekend. No, I still worked, I still made money, But the problem was, it got to a point that I still felt like the older I got, the more I did not have a direction. I see some of my family members, like my cousins, they went to college, they had directions, they knew where they were going in life. I didn't have a plan, and so it got to the point that I felt like I didn't have a choice. I tried the whole college thing. I went to school, okay? First semester, I actually did very well. Second, third semester, I did horrible, all right? Again, school is just not for me. And the reason why I went is because I felt like I had to. I still didn't really know what I wanted out of my life. I didn't know what I wanted as a job. It's like, you see like a lot of people these days that even go to college, and a lot of them can't even find a job even after they graduate. So I mean, there was a lot of factors that played into why I didn't really want to go to school. And then once I finally got introduced to the whole marketing world, I mean, my eyes really opened. I really seen the opportunity that there was. Not only, there's another way to make money. So basically, you don't have to get a regular 9-to-5 job to make money, and I seen that, And I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people, like the very first thing I ever tried was Visalis. Some of my close friends, they seen me in what I went through in Visalis. I even had, close friends, and if you guys are watching this, you know exactly who you are. You try to pretty much tell me that I was brainwashed. You tried to basically put me down, say my idea was stupid, that it was all a scam. Well, guess what? The genius thing, okay, that I did was ignore all that. All right, that was a genius thing that I could have done because I had my struggles. For 9 months, I tried and I spent money countless times. I spent over $1,000 to come up with zero. But you know what? The smartest thing I could have done was to not quit, because that's how I got to where I am right now, which led up to Neucopia. So, you guys see my story. 2 months into Visalis, I paid $500 to become a promoter. All right, you see me trying to call you guys, hit you guys up, selling all these nutritional shakes. Business didn't work. It flat out didn't work. All right, I ended up moving to a company called Empower Network. 7 months. All right, 7 months that I will never get back. But you know what? That gave me more character. All right, that really just kind of showed that I wasn't gonna quit, that I wanted it so bad. All right, after about 2 months into Empower Network, I actually dropped out of college. All right, because I needed this. All right, I wanted this so bad to work. All right, I knew there was a way to make money. I see people doing these online marketing companies, and I see people making $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month. If they could do it, why can't I? That was the attitude that I had, so I wasn't gonna quit. Plain and simple, I was not gonna quit because I knew it was possible. I've seen the proof right in front of me. I just needed to find something. So I gave that company a try for 7 long months, and I was hurting. All right, and I'm gonna be real. There was a lot of times struggling that I would almost legit cry myself to sleep in frustration because I was spending money that I did not have to come up with nothing. Okay, so for like a lot of you marketers that are out there right now, you guys can relate. All right, because a lot of you guys are struggling because you don't know how to market your business. All right, why did I join Neucopia? All right, when I got introduced to the opportunity, the number one thing that caught my attention was support. That was the missing thing for me in my business and my success the whole time. Because when you work together in a team, it can change everything. I mean, team stands for together, everyone achieves more. That's the definition of team. Okay, a lot of people come into these kind of marketing opportunities and they don't have a coach, they don't have a mentor. They're kind of like doing it on their own, and that's the position I was in. I was trying to figure it all out on my own. So it kind of felt like school to me in a way, it kind of felt like work, and I wasn't really able to enjoy it. But now everything has really changed in my perspective of how I market my business. So, I mean, the biggest thing was for me to work with people. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is something that I'm doing to change my life. You know, I mean, this is basically going to replace my income of my regular 9-to-5 job so I can do this full time and enjoy life. You think about people that actually go to school. They're in hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt with student loans, okay? And then sometimes they even still struggle to find a job after that, all right? So, I mean, even after you go to school, you pay all that money for education, you're still going to end up basically slaving your life away, working a 9-to-5 job. Chances are you're going to be working at the bottom, working for somebody up at the top to make them richer. When instead, I want to, if I can work that hard for somebody else, why can't I work that hard for myself and be my own boss? You know, it's like you guys have to kind of ask yourself that question. And you guys want to talk about a pyramid scheme about online marketing. Think about what you're doing at your 9-to-5 job. Like, honestly, think about it, because that's the same thing. What you're doing is a pyramid scheme. All right, now really, really think about it. The difference is you're at the bottom. All right, because in any job, you have what? The CEO, the vice president, you got managers, and then you got workers. All right, you got the regular workers. And chances are that's where you're at. Okay, you're basically working as hard as you can to make the person at the very top richer. That's all you're doing. And then you get excited over like a 50-cent raise? Like, really? I mean, listen, you guys can throw a celebration over that, but I'm not, okay? Because a lot of people, especially in this economy right now, everybody knows this economy is going to hell. That's just a fact. Everybody's struggling to pay their bills, put food in the fridge, all right? Let me ask you something, just a simple $1,000 extra a month. Like, can that help you? That would help me. Just an extra $1,000 a month in your bank account, that could help pay off a car loan, put some, buy some groceries, pay off a phone bill, anything. That can help. And you guys know that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm doing this to change my life. All right? You want to ask what my why is? It's because this is my future. I came from a place where I didn't have nothing. I had no plan going forward. I didn't know where I was going to end up in my life. I'm 24 years old, and I still didn't have any set goals of what I want to do or be out of my life. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, ultimately, this is it. This is what I need to basically save my future. Because I don't want to be like those people. I don't want to be like the majority of people that are out there slaving their ways for a job, and they still come home and they're stressed because they're wondering how they're going to pay their mortgage or pay their upcoming bills, how they're going to feed their kids. I don't want to live like that. I mean, that's why I do what I do, because I want to be able to support myself, be able to support my family. All right, a goal of mine is to be able to retire my mother. I mean, how many people can honestly do that? My mom works, 50 to 60 hours a week. That's ridiculous. Nobody should have to go through that. And they come home and you can't even enjoy life. And by the time people retire, they're like, what, 60 years old? And then chances are they're still, they're relying on like a 401k, and it's like they still can't really enjoy life because they don't really have that kind of income coming into them on a weekly basis. Where I'm basically doing Neucopia to solve that. I mean, I'm not going to get into really about what Neucopia is, but I'll just say one thing. For any person that I basically get, I'm making $200 up front and $100 in residual. All right, that means autopilot money, reoccurring. All right, so I mean, like I said, what can you do with just a simple $1,000 a month coming to you on autopilot? Just naturally coming to you every single month. What could that do for you? You think bigger, $5,000 a month. That alone is life changing. That's an average of $1,000 a week. And anybody can accomplish that. Anybody can accomplish that in Neucopia. Easy. And that's right now, that's what I'm working towards. I want to be able to, like I said, I want to be able to truly support myself and have that life that most people cannot have. Live the life that people only dream to have. So, I mean, but in a nutshell, I'm doing this to simply change my life. I want that financial freedom. I don't want to stress and suffer like majority of people do with their jobs. I don't want to live that life because it's hard. I've seen it. Almost everybody goes through it, So, I mean, if you guys are looking for another way out, there is another way out. I mean, you think about when it comes to online marketing, 1 in 5 millionaires comes through that. So really think about it. For all you people that are out there that think it's a scam, really think about it. All right? Donald Trump, billionaire. He even said, and you could Google this, all right? He even says that if for whatever reason, like, let's say he went broke today, or whatever the case is. If he had to choose another option to make some income, he would do network marketing. He would do online marketing. I mean, I don't know what more I can say, guys. I mean, I'm just gonna kind of wrap up this video like right now, but I mean, cause I already told you basically what I'm trying to do with my life. So now this is me kind of coming out to you. For you that's watching this video, this is about the next person. What are you doing with your life? What are you doing to change it? A lot of people like to sit there on the computer, on Facebook. They like to bitch about their life. They like to complain about how awful it is. They're broke. They don't have money. Well, do something about it. Change it. If you want something that you do not have, go get it. You know why most people don't have what they want? Is because they're too scared to follow their dreams, because they're too scared to grab what they want. So instead, they sit there and complain about it. Guess what? Complaining does nothing. Unless you take action, which is what I'm doing right now, you won't get nothing out of your life. You're just gonna sit there negative and be miserable your entire life. You know, people think, I mean, and it's a fact. You hang out with like nine negative people, you're gonna be that 10th person. You hang out with like 9 high successful people, the person that you want to become, that's gonna influence you to rise up and be where you want to be in life. It's about who you surround yourself with. I surround myself with uplifting, positive people that are making a lot of money. If you guys have followed me and watched some of my videos in San Diego, I was around multi-millionaires, okay? People making 7 figures, all right? That's the kind of people I need to be around with if I want to have my life go into a positive direction, all right? So I can be able to help other people achieve their same goals. So, anyways, if you guys are watching this, all right, I'm gonna strictly point to you online marketers that are out there, all right? I know you guys are struggling. There's a lot of you out there, all right? If you're watching this video, listen, you come into a company like Neucopia, you're not gonna be by yourself. That's why a lot of people are failing. They come into a company, they can't get a hold of their sponsor leaves them in the dust, they take their money. What now? You're not getting any help. You're like a freaking little fish in a giant ocean just trying to solve all your problems when it's hard. Okay? I mean, in anything in life, you need a coach, you need a mentor, all right? I mean, simple as that, you know? And even if you fail at first, who cares? Fail forward. Learn how to fail and use those failures to your advantage. You think of a guy like Michael Jordan, didn't make his high school basketball team. Look now, greatest player of all time that's ever lived. Why? Because he didn't give up. If he would have gave up on his dreams, he would have been nowhere to be found. And that's why I'm going to where I want to go in my life, because that was the best decision that I could have made. I didn't quit. I didn't give up. And that shows a lot about me. I mean, back in Visalis, it was just one of those things. They told you, hit up friends and family. I tried that game. In Neucopia, I didn't do that. I didn't go to my friends. I didn't talk to my family. No, I'm just gonna basically just do this on my own with my team. And everybody that's on my team right now, I don't got one person that stayed in New York, all right? That's a powerful thing. I got people from Guam, Australia, I got people all over the world, Puerto Rico, international, all right? And that's what I love about this business, because it's international, all right? And I could look outside of my own backyard. So, appreciate you guys watching this video. I'm out.